Dude, somebody was digging a grave out here.
This is like as Skinwalker as it gets, man. You didn't put this here, Ty?
No.
You didn't set this up for us?
Ty, get ready to grab his ankles.
Some encounters in isolated places become terrifying before you even understand the danger. A silent stranger appears at the edge of a remote property, while deep in the wilderness, glowing eyes emerge only after someone calls into the dark. What would you do if something out there seemed to be watching and waiting? On January 24th, 2026, the YouTube channel Count It All Joy posted a video very different from its usual homestead content. Known for sharing family life, farm work, and rural living, the channel instead recorded a disturbing moment at a countryside property in the United States. With her husband away and a mother alone at home with her children, an ordinary day turned into something unsettling with no warning and no help nearby. Farm work is underway when the dogs suddenly break into loud, aggressive barking.
What is he doing? Okay, dude, you can keep on walking. Now, I don't know if he's going over to the neighbor's driveway. I called 911 already. Now I'm going to call Dutch back and see if he has this guy's phone number. Okay, dude, you need to move along. Literally can't even leave your kids home who are of age because you have some Fruit Loop walking down the road. This is ridiculous. While people are at work, taking their kids to school, doing whatever they're supposed to do, he's just wandering down, seeing what he can steal or what he can get. This is ridiculous. I guess I'm literally going to follow where he ends up. What are you doing roaming around at people's houses? Don't come on our property. Don't come on our property. Do what? No, you're roaming around. No one else is roaming around. It's you. Okay, well, the cops are headed this way, so you can talk to them. The cops are headed this way, so you can tell them whatever.
Sarah looks toward the noise and spots a solitary man standing near the edge of the tree line. His silence feels more disturbing than the sound coming from the dogs.
Now he's on someone else's property. This is like getting out of control. We don't need this guy in our area. I don't know these people's phone number, but I'm trying to have Dutch get a hold of them because they have a couple cars home. This is absolutely insane. He has no business over there. I'm trying not to scare him off so I can talk to these people. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to try to get a hold of them. I literally need to go pick Hadley up. This is not how I expected to spend my day. Ridiculous. What is he doing? That's absolutely terrifying. That if the lady's home and she just looks outside and this dude's staring at her house.
Rather than confront him, Sarah gets into her van and maintains her distance. From inside the vehicle, she slowly follows while he walks down a quiet country road as she calls 911. His pace seems unusually slow, and he shows no response to the barking dogs or the vehicle following behind. The lack of urgency in his movements only increases the tension. As Sarah watches the man turns into nearby driveways, entering private property without hesitation. He walks through neighboring yards as though boundaries do not exist. The homes remain quiet. Nobody comes outside. No help appears. Later, Sarah returns and explains where the man appeared. The way she describes the location quietly changes how the entire encounter is understood.
While I was here on the property by myself, Dutch was out of town and the girls were all at school. I just had a few minutes that I was going to check on some things with the animals. And I heard the dogs barking, Gabby and Gracie. So those are our two German Shepherds. Around, I saw at the edge of the woods, literally right by our house, there was a guy. And I was like kind of squinting, I was like, surely that's not a person. But Gabby and Gracie just kept barking at him. And then he walked around behind the house. I thankfully had the van right beside me so I could quickly get in it. And then I decided I was going to back up in the van and just go along our driveway and follow and see where he was going. He ended up over across the road at our neighbor's, who is an elderly woman. And so we contacted her son. He was aware, and I just kept watching him to make sure he didn't make it up to her house. And so then I ended up following him to the end point where he went off into the woods.
Many viewers felt the encounter seemed intentional rather than random, made even more disturbing because help never arrived. When isolation combines with delayed response, where does safety really come from, and what would you do if this happened at your home? In November 2025, deep within Botswana's central Kalahari, an expedition traveled farther into one of Africa's harshest regions. What started as a wildlife trip changed suddenly when smoke appeared along the horizon. What first resembled rain was actually fire, rapid, unpredictable, and pushed by changing winds.
And it is a spectacular one. Are you joking? Time to go see some animals.
First line was fantastic. LX27, man, it was beautifully silent. We had the wind come in and kept it nice and cool. Sunrise was incredible this morning. And red sunrise. Ready for the day.
Yeah, it's heaps of spaces there. You could have 16 people in that. Hopefully, they say reckon it's line proof. So we'll test that out tomorrow night. No, geez, tonight.
Biggest lines that there is on planet Earth, which is good. Nad said I didn't snore, so things are looking up. He said I'm not allowed to get on the now, so I can sleep nicely. We'll see how that goes.
As temperatures rose beyond 40 degrees Celsius, the convoy crossed vast bull dust plains with few chances to turn back.
Same as you get in the Kimberleys there, that really fine, very, very dusty stuff that is going to get absolutely everywhere. Temperature's about the same too, actually, probably 40 degrees. Crikey, it's hot. Gee, there's no water and there's bugger all food.
Oh yeah, a bit of shade, eh?
Bit of shade.
This is where you definitely need an awning.
Surviving in this landscape would be difficult with limited water and little food. Rangers warned that lions move freely through these open camps, while spreading fires drove animals toward the same routes. Ash floated through the air as the vehicles continued toward an orange glow that looked apocalyptic.
Into this wall of fire. Well, the rangers at the station have assured us that the wind will be winding down. Corrections, we are not taking this lightly. It was only a couple of years ago that we were forced to leave a campsite charging towards us. So we know the danger is real. Fires can be one of the most dangerous things to encounter when you're away on a touring trip.
Well, there we go. We were very lucky.
Winds changed without notice, and previous experience had already shown how fast flames could overwhelm a campsite. In remote travel, fire remains one of the most serious dangers. When the group reached camp, the landscape was burned and silent. Trees were blackened, facilities were burned, and the bush seemed empty, too quiet. As darkness arrived, cooking continued over open flames, while tension remained in every noise beyond the tents.
Well, there we go. We were very lucky. The direction of the road's going to the campsite. Fire's actually already ripped through this area, which was all the smoke we were driving towards. Fire pockets, there's a few more over there. All this section's burnt off, but it hasn't jumped the road, which is lucky. Otherwise, all this would be up as well, so.
And then, but yeah, rip in for the night, eh?
Dean's just come to show us the facilities.
This is a bit of the bog. This is the long drop. It's actually sad to see. These are beautiful. See the spiral shape? Looks like a big snail. Used to walk in there, walk around the timber, and this was really nicely, basically cornered off, so you couldn't see anything. And then that's the shallow one, which used to be.
The fires had already crossed nearby areas, stopping before the road. In places like this, danger gives no warning. Fire, heat predators, and isolation close in together. Some believe the threat had already passed, while others think it had only been postponed. When flames move this quickly and help is far away, how can you know when it is truly safe to stop or when you should leave? A video uploaded on December 11, 2016, shows an unsettling encounter. While looking for places to ride, a motorcyclist finds something disturbing in a wooded area. The creator behind the YouTube channel, Theo Freakin' Door, is riding through the forest when a sight in the distance catches his attention. He and a friend choose to leave their bikes and walk toward the area. As they get closer, a sense of unease begins to take hold, as though someone is watching them. With every step, the feeling becomes harder to ignore. They soon discover a large square patch of ground that looks recently disturbed.
What is that? No way. I didn't really see it until you said something. Dude, that was straight up like, hold on. I want to get a good I want to get a good view of it. Dude, somebody was digging a grave out here. Oh God.
The soil appears freshly moved, standing out from the forest floor around it. They stop only long enough to film what they have found, but the scene leaves them uneasy. The size of the hole makes a simple animal burial seem unlikely, although innocent explanations remain possible. Its fresh, deliberate shape raises troubling questions. Was this unfinished work or something intentionally concealed? And would you have stayed to investigate? Our next clip comes from Recon One Outdoors, a survival channel focused on solo camping severe weather and testing outdoor equipment. On April 21st, 2026 at the Breed River in South Africa, the camper reaches the area shortly before a powerful storm arrives. The wind is already moving through, though it has not become too intense yet. His first major choice involves how he positions the truck. He parks the vehicle with its front facing directly into the wind, helping shield the campsite behind it from the strongest gusts. This decision matters because the stability of the entire setup depends on that exact placement.
I've got the storm straps out and the pegs. I'm going to put out some pegs in some random places. And as soon as I open up that awning in conditions such as this, it is not meant to withstand winds of these speeds all on its own. So I'm just going to smash some pegs in. This one is a tricky one because of where I parked the car. Guys, there's no science to this. Estimating based on where my arms are once that awning is deployed. Due to the water resistance, that is another issue that I'm going to be dealing with. I've got the cameras to contend with too. I'm going to attach the strap.
He strengthens the campsite from the beginning. Heavy stakes, ropes, and anchors are secured into the ground before he fully opens the rest of his equipment. He does not simply extend the roof canopy, he first makes sure everything is tightly fastened. By adding a wall against the wind, he creates a protected working area directly behind the truck. His strategy relies on several layers of protection rather than a single basic tent.
And see if there is any other supplies that I can pick up. Things people might have left around. Like I said, I am particularly looking for wood. Amazing the stuff that people just leave behind. A bit charred, but still very usable for us. I brought 2 bags of my own. I kind of knew that it wasn't going to be enough, and luckily some good Samaritans.
Before long, rain begins again, and the wind arrives in powerful, unpredictable bursts. He keeps gathering firewood, even though the worsening conditions make moving around difficult. The camp is prepared before the worst weather arrives, but the main storm is approaching quickly.
Dis mislik hier so buite. It's really gone monkey. It's mental. Hunter doesn't even want to play anymore. Where you, boy? You're done. You finished.
As the wind intensifies, the equipment takes heavy pressure. Strong gusts pull hard against the ropes while blowing rain and wind make visibility increasingly difficult. When the most severe part of the storm finally arrives, the camp remains standing because of the preparation done earlier. Despite the force of the wind, nothing fails.
I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is actually really cold. Got a hoodie on underneath, I got a hoodie on top. I was freezing my ass off. Okay, let's get busy with that steak. We're not baking pancakes here, boys. Good layer of oil.
The early work now becomes the reason he can remain calm without rushing outside to secure loose equipment while the strongest gusts are already striking the site around him. He applies the same practical thinking to his sleeping setup. Instead of using an enclosed tent, he chooses a camping cot and a warm winter sleeping bag. He sleeps in the open, relying on reliable gear for protection rather than sheltering behind walls. Nothing unexpected goes wrong because he is prepared for each small detail.
South Africans lose their lives due to flash floods that happen. All these farmers are in contact with each other all the way upriver due to rising river levels. A lot of the pathways and the walkways that are on this property have completely now washed.
He created a sturdy camp designed for severe weather instead of waiting until the storm arrived before trying to make repairs. Preparing strong protection before a storm arrives can reduce danger and improve safety. Would you rather spend extra time securing everything early or risk fighting the wind and darkness if your campsite started falling apart? On March 26, 2019, an outdoor channel known as Stuck in the Rut uploaded a tense video to YouTube. The footage follows a hunter named Ryan Altus as he tracks elk along a remote mountain trail. Without warning, he notices a bull moose in rut moving straight toward him. Encounters with these animals are not unusual in areas where elk and moose share the same habitat. Still, that reality did nothing to prepare Ryan for the dangerous encounter that followed.
Well, as most elk hunters know, moose are very territorial, and any form of elk calling can cause an aggressive moose to come in.
The enormous animal moves dangerously close to Ryan, pausing briefly to smell his gear. The tension is intense, and it seems like the situation could turn disastrous at any moment. Although female moose protecting calves are often considered the most aggressive, a bull during mating season can be equally unpredictable and dangerous. One sudden movement could trigger an attack. Instead of running, Ryan remains completely still and records a remarkable rare encounter. After several extremely tense minutes, the huge animal eventually loses interest and slowly walks away. Had the fearless bull chosen to attack it, it's difficult to imagine how serious the result might have been. Remaining motionless can show a wild animal that you are not a threat, which may be crucial when there's nowhere to escape or hide. If a massive animal walked directly up to you, would you be able to stay perfectly still, or would fear make you run? The footage comes from Hoodoo, a US channel that relies on satellite imagery to locate and explore remote deserts and abandoned mines. On February 16, 2025, the creator heads into the Utah desert near the historic mining town of Eureka. His objective is simple: reach a particular location he found online but has never seen with his own eyes. Leaving paved roads behind, he drives into rough, isolated terrain, filled with rock piles, steep dirt slopes, and debris left behind from old industrial sites. He soon understands how enormous the area actually is.
All right, so we found something else here. First thing I saw was this big silo-looking thing up there. But yeah, we got this as well. I wouldn't have expected there to be active mines up here. I was looking over here, and I see two headstones. They almost look like they're made out of styrofoam. And it's a retaining wall for some dirt. And it also looks like there could be another mine right up there. That almost looks like another mine tailing.
The landscape stretches far beyond his planned destination, filled with confusing tracks, sharp drop-offs, and no obvious boundaries to help him navigate, with almost no familiar landmarks nearby to help him judge direction correctly. That makes the situation much more risky, because getting lost here could make the return trip extremely difficult. Before long, progress stops completely.
Looking on Google Earth, and it almost looks like the road to get down this way is super steep, so that could get dangerous fast. So I might flip this around right here and head back, and then see if we can cut across the other way, see if we can find another road in. Okay, so I drove all the way down, and I found this road, which looks like on my maps that it might lead up to the spot that we're trying to get to, which is somewhere up there. I don't think that we're able to go up that road at all, so I'm going to flip it around. That looks like it's not going to work out. I'm going to go over to a different area where I know I can camp, and there's some really good camping out there. It's kind of a little bit of a bust that we're not able to stay at that campsite or check out that spot that I was originally planning on going to, especially if I was on my motorcycle.
Deep snow and rough rocks block the route ahead. He tests several alternate paths, but everyone ends without a way through, forcing him to turn back. With no workable route, he abandons the attempt and reverses course.
But it's like this little circle of rocks, obviously, and it has some rocks that lead into the middle of it. Let's go check it out. It seems like the map leads over to that mountain over there. I'm assuming it's at the top. Doesn't look as steep on the phone, but... So it's looking like it might be a mine tailing, but it doesn't make any sense because there's like a big circle of rock spot around it. Yeah, that down there just looks like a mound of dirt. So this road keeps going up. This is all I'm seeing right now. So I can't figure out what it is. It looks like maybe a mine shaft. Oh, I actually didn't realize that this is where this was, but this is what's known as the Nutty Putty Caves. This young kid ended up passing away down in...
A little later, the true history of the location becomes clear. The area is tied to the well-known Nutty Putty Cave. He is not facing immediate danger, but he is traveling directly above a site connected to a real and tragic death. The entire journey is filled with uncertainty, and the vast, confusing terrain makes the experience feel increasingly dangerous. The most significant moment is not reaching the intended destination, but realizing where he has actually been standing. Traveling far beyond familiar routes is always a risk because the land can hide stories and dangers you may not recognize until you are already there. If you accidentally entered an area known for a past tragedy, would curiosity make you continue exploring, or would you turn the truck around and leave immediately? Our next frightening video comes from Pitched Up, a British wild camping channel following friends documenting overnight stays in remote locations. Their videos center on changing weather group reactions and how wilderness conditions affect each trip. The date is October 21st, 2024 at Crow Earth in the United Kingdom.
It was a last minute idea. Second camera, Rob's destroyed the fire.
I'm pretty sure I can see a flame, bro.
Hmm?
So I'm pretty sure I can see a flame.
They arrive late while the sun is going down, leaving little daylight and no time to spare. Setting up camp becomes a rushed effort. They quickly pitch their tents, unload bags, and hurry to start a fire.
Oh, mate. Oh, that was very close. What are you doing?
Stood up too quick. Oh! Jabbed up the arse by your chair, bro. Oh, that really hurt.
A steady wind is moving through the area, not a storm, but strong enough to mask other sounds and immediately make the campsite feel uncomfortable. Without warning, an unusual noise breaks the quiet close to their camp. Unsure what caused it, everyone falls silent and looks into the forest. They never identify the source, but being disturbed by something unseen nearby is enough to create fear.
Can I sort the fire out? Eh?
I'll sort you out in a minute, sir. Right. What we got down on here?
Don't step backwards, Smash. My cup's down there.
Oh, I think I've done my bit, mate.
So we've had a couple of hot dogs. So we've had, innit?
Yeah, and some sweets.
Eh?
And some sweeties.
And some sweets. Cup of tea with some brandy in it. Couple of brandies with no tea in it.
Later, another short, strange sound near the fire startles the group. Once again, nothing is visible. But after hearing it twice, the noises no longer seem like a simple coincidence. Then the wind grows stronger, roaring through the trees.
We're going to try and get some footage of the moon because there's meant to be a big super moon tonight for the last night. And we've got a tripod, so we're going to try and get that on if Rob's still with us. It's up there through the trees, but we're going to go into the field.
Constant background sound makes it difficult to separate possible footsteps from the wind, creating growing paranoia. Nothing directly attacks the group, but the pressure, the hurried setup, repeated noises, and powerful wind keeps everyone tense. They never discover what was outside, but the unsettling buildup changes the night. When stress is already high and the forest becomes noisy, darkness can easily conceal whatever may be moving nearby. If you were there, hearing repeated sounds without seeing the source, Would you stay inside your tent and try to sleep or pack up and leave immediately? On October 9th, 2021, professional downhill racer Loic Bruni joins more than 150 competitors at the Red Bull Campo Madness. Posted on the Loic Bruni YouTube channel, the footage is captured on a GoPro putting viewers inside a mass start downhill race where speed and danger meet. What starts as an explosive launch soon becomes unpredictable as tight lines, dust, and rider mistakes influence every second of the descent. As the course gets steeper, the field compresses even more. Riders pass one another at close range with every move depending on timing instead of space. In one moment, the group is shocked as something happens that no rider ever wants to witness.
OTB direct. Oh, ça va, excuse. Allez les gars, soudez. Allez, 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 on s'entend bien. Oh le bordel. Oh le carnage. Allez Pompon. Allez Pompon, allez, allez. Allez. Allez Pompon. Allez. Mec, où tu vas? Allez les gars. Magnifique, magnifique. Laisse-moi aller. Allez, allez, reprends. Merde, pas grave. Baby. Bien mec. Y'a de la casse. Ouais, ça passe. Propre. Je peux pas faire mieux.
On a steep downhill section, the riders approach a sharp right-hand turn from above. One rider in front commits too early and cuts across the line, colliding with another rider who has not fully cleared the corner yet. The impact sends the trailing rider crashing hard into the dust with bikes tangling as a cloud erupts across the track. The pack bunches up instantly, forcing others to brake or swerve while the race continues. In the final section,
Excuse. Allez, allez mec. Ah, il a cassé la chaîne.
Oh, il a déjà brûlé. Putain, laisse-le passer. Putain, rien, t'inquiète.
Ah, je craque. Ah, je suis mort.
sa mère! C'est horrible! T'inquiète, c'est bon. Excuse mec. Ouais, j'ai mal. Ouah. Brother! Magnifique!
En 14e position. Il lui a manqué 14. Énorme performance.
Fatigue begins to take over. Riders keep battling for position until the last moments, pushing across the finish as the chaos finally gives way to relief and silence. Viewers repeatedly comment on how aggressive the riding appears, wondering how many crashes happen outside the frame as Bruni keeps pushing without slowing. If this is what the front camera captures, what kind of chaos is happening behind him, completely unseen? On December 29th, 2024, the YouTube channel Smithereens, known for visiting remote and unsettling places, travels into Utah's rugged backcountry. What starts as a quiet search through ancient caves gradually becomes uncomfortable as the surroundings begin revealing signs that seem far from natural.
We're currently on a cave that Ty showed us. It's really insane. We found bones inside, which was really weird. We were taking in this absolutely just gorgeous view here for a few minutes, but now it's time to go to a different cave. It's supposedly got artifacts and all sorts of things in it, so we're going to take a look at that. Carl's talking about the bones right now that we're finding in there. Something about it's weird, guys. It's really weird. Like, I don't get a good feeling.
It doesn't look human to me. It's like, I don't know. Human, it's like a little kid or something. Is this a Skinwalker cave?
Yeah, now we gotta start asking the question, why did Ty take us here?
Yeah, what is their bones doing up in here, man?
Yeah, Ty's the Skinwalker. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, you lured us in here for this. Like,
Yeah.
That's creepy, man.
That's pretty creepy.
It's specifically put there for sure. Somebody placed those things.
Yeah. It's weird, just the little alcove. We found these bones in here, which is really bizarre. This is an old Native American cave, and Ty said these were not here, or at least he didn't notice them. So I don't know if I should be touching them, but it's really, really weird. It's almost like makes me think of like an offering or something. Huh. Right? So I took a pee break. I didn't see anything, but man, I feel like something could be watching me on that ridge line, especially with what we encountered last night. Like, imagine, that's a scary thought. There's bones in the tree. There's a skull, a vertebrae, a pelvis. There's a full skeleton in the tree.
It is all placed in there. The spinal column and the head. Or that's like the... Yeah, that's the deer up top. It's a pelvis. That is the body of a deer.
Why is it in the tree?
6 feet up in a tree.
At the bottom of the cave. And why are the other bones up there?
There's still like kind of meat on it, dude. This is like as Skinwalker as it gets, man. You didn't put this here, Ty? No. You didn't set this up for us?
I wish I thought of it. Yeah, I swear. I wish I thought of it.
Dude, that's creepy, man.
That's really creepy.
Inside a shallow cave, the group starts describing the area as a possible Skinwalker. Cave disturbed by how strangely everything appears arranged. They find scattered bones across the ground. At first, they wonder whether some might be human. Nearby, a complete animal skeleton is discovered high on a tree branch, placed in a way that seems intentional. At that point, they believe the discovery is the most disturbing moment of the day.
Alright, so we're currently in the soot cave. Fire going on. We're putting together some metate pieces. Pretty crazy. Now, Carl did say that he thought he had heard something scurry past outside of the cave.
I'm pretty sure that I heard something run past the opening of the cave, but it was like 40 yards out.
Look, one thing I've learned, when Carl says something, it's serious. Carl does not just say things.
I kept quiet for a minute. I just wanted to see, but it's probably just a deer, coyote, or something.
I mean, yeah, we'll just ignore the bones and, you know. Yeah.
Did it sound like something moved through the bushes?
Yeah, it sounded big. Right. Dude, I'm telling you, Carl's no joke. Every time I'm with Carl.
There might be something out there.
Yeah, I heard something.
Weird energy up here. Yeah. I usually keep real quiet about when I
didn't want to lead you into it too much, but that way.
I know. Let's not project any fear either. Do you see that? That goes way in there, like 20 feet back in there.
I'll go in.
It sounded like a scuff of dirt in there, though.
It did.
You want to stick your face in that hole, dude? Go ahead. I'll film it.
Here we go. It's always me. Why could I?
Oh, I'm the designated cameraman now.
Ty, get ready to grab his ankles.
Hello? Does it just go straight back?
Yeah, probably about 10, 15 feet, and then it dead ends.
Really?
There's nothing in there.
Weird. It only got me a little bit.
There's a snake in your boots.
There's a snake in my boots.
Hello?
See, it's when we get talking about it.
Uh-huh.
Like you're chumming for sharks.
Uh-huh.
Be careful.
What are you guys? I'll catch up with you guys in a minute. I'm just going to sit tight for a minute. All right, so Carl and Ty just branched off. They went somewhere over that direction. There's their light. It kind of looks like eyes behind me. That's bizarre. All right, we're going to ignore it. I kind of just wanted to stay in this meadow just for a minute by myself. I don't want to say make myself bait, but I don't know. I kind of want to take it in and like just be here alone for a minute, see what happens. So if anything happens, I'll obviously put it in the video. If nothing happens, well, yeah. See if we see anything on the mountainside.
While inside the cave, a sudden noise rushes past the entrance. It sounds heavy, fast, and close, like a large body forcing through brush. Nothing can be seen moving. The group later talks about Skinwalker lore, including the belief that such entities may follow intruders, causing nightmares and unexplained disturbances long after they leave. Only later do they consider that the sound may not have been a warning, but a response. Carl decides to remain alone in the open meadow, while the others continue ahead. After calling out, several pairs of reflective eyes appear on the hillside between them. They do not act like wildlife. He watches in silence, realizing the reaction feels unlike anything they have encountered before. Wildlife is still possible, but the timing and responses create unsettling questions. If nothing was there, why did something appear only after it was acknowledged?